campaign is about Uganda, but is also about Acholi land. It's about Uganda because Acholi land, where Gulu City is part of Uganda. And if Uganda is stable, Acholi land will be stable. If Uganda is unstable, Acholi land will also be unstable. There are developments that we have communicated during this campaign. The most important one is the cooperation agreement between the National Resistance Movement and the Democratic Party, where the two parties were committed by their principals, namely myself and President Museveni, to focus on 4 things, and these are written down in the agreement. The first one is peaceful presidential transition. Uganda has never had peaceful change. The second one is national reconciliation. This country is hurting. There is no part of this country that has not been injured. In some areas, there are open wounds. In many areas, there are still scars. We need to reconcile as a country. Those who have committed atrocities need to ask for forgiveness, and those who have been wronged can then forgive. The third thing is the need for a comprehensive and inclusive national dialogue. There is no community that applied to belong to Uganda. Definitely, as the Acholi people, we never filled an application form to be Ugandans. I don't think the Banyankole filled the form. I don't even think the Baganda did that. The colonialists simply fenced us in and declared that we are Ugandans. So we are a building made of building blocks. But the cement is getting weaker and weaker because there is no need, there's no commanding need for togetherness. So everywhere in Uganda, you find tribes. Then you ask yourself, so where are the Ugandans? It looks like the national interest has been put on the back burner. So we need a comprehensive national dialogue, a kind of Kachoke Madid, really. And the fourth thing, our constitution, which is now 30 years old, we need to have a second look at it. And there are aspects of the constitution that we should revisit. The first one is on devolution. We need stronger local governments. The reason why everybody is always harassing President Museveni and complaining about how the central government operates is because our decentralization was hijacked by bureaucrats in Kampala. So even when they send money to local governments, it's a bit like giving pocket money to school children. They even tell you what you should use it for. They budget, then they tell you this is for roads, this is for water, this is for health. The discretionary power of local government is completely undermined. We could start with the Kenyan model. Kenya, through the county model, has been able to achieve unprecedented development for the people. It is easier for the people to hold the local governments accountable than trying to hold the people in Kampala accountable. The second thing in the constitution concerns term limits. I will go to my grave convinced that the removal of term limits was a gross abuse of power. It was reckless, uncalled for, and it undermined the hopes of many Ugandans. However much people are tired of a president, they can tolerate that president for 10 years. So the removal of term limits under the guise of saying power belongs to the people, to me, was problematic. In Tanzania, it is one party that has been leading, but they have been having different presidents. Ugandans need to see that for the first time. Now, NRM and DP have shown an example that you can even have a team of rivals, which is what I believe will be in the next government. I believe virtually all political parties will be in the next government. When I entered the cabinet, when I entered the working relationship with the NRM, I did not lock the door behind me. I left it open. So many other key political leaders are beginning to share my ideas. Now, concerning the constituency of Laroo Pece, when I arrived, I realized that I didn't know many of the voters. People who were 3 years old, 4 years old, 10, or even unborn when I was last here as a leader, because I said goodbye to the people in 2011 when I left the position of LC5 and went to contest for president of Uganda. Since then, I've not been this close to the people. I've realized that if you are in Acholi, your manifesto should be the Juba Peace Agreement. So the Juba Peace Agreement is what I have been unpacking. How do we build up a community that has been ravaged by war? How can we educate those whose education have been disrupted? How do we heal the wounds, mental and physical, that are a result of the 20-year war? How do we deal with poverty? How do we deal with land conflicts? How do we deal with those who are abusing the poverty? For instance, those who are lending money to our market women. They harass them like bailiffs. Moreover, charging illegal interest rates. These are things that I only learned when I came to the campaign. So the campaign has enabled me to reunite and reconnect with my people. I've also been able to confront the contradictions that are there in the politics of Uganda. As you know, my candidature is being supported by virtually all political parties. But there are some political party leaders, particularly those in the NRM, who thought that when I'm contesting for parliament, I stop being a party leader. But I remain a party leader, so I have an obligation to campaign for DP candidates. So that has caused some contradictions. Even though I have an NRM candidate contesting in the same constituency with me, I've never complained. So it is how to manage those contradictions. We are also facing the effects of candidate selection, even within my own party. Our candidate selection process normally comes with the complaints from those who are not chosen. But the goal of a political party is to put the best candidate in every constituency. And that is the key principle. And that's the advice I would give to any other political party. So the issues in the constituency are basically about keeping the promises that government made in Juba. Remember, President Museveni assured the world that even though Joseph Kony has not showed up to sign the Juba Peace Agreement, he pledged to unilaterally implement it to the letter. It is therefore the duty of any leader from northern Uganda to support that process. We also found a lot of complaints about partisanship in giving support, like in PDM and other government programs. So basically, we need accountability. Accountability is a key issue in the constituency. And Laroo Pece has also become kind of contentious because of rumor mongers some rumor mongers went and told the speaker that I want to be the speaker of the next parliament. I've discussed that matter with her, and I've told her that nobody needs to spread rumors. I am known for being very open about what I want to do, and I don't need anybody's permission to pursue any ambition that I may have. Therefore, if I have any such ambition, I'll be the one to announce it. In the meantime, everybody should relax. What we want is to do first things first. And then there are NRM candidates who are moving with us. We are supporting them, especially where we don't have DP candidates. But more importantly, for the first time, there is no strong voice against President Museveni in the whole of Acholi land, because of the message that I crafted and assured the people that we need President Museveni to keep his promises. And those promises are very important in lifting up a post-war community. I have been campaigning for President Museveni, and for the first time, I'm going to vote for him in my life. And that's what I've been sharing with the voters. I've given the reasons. I've also told them that Ugandans need to start talking about the post-Museveni Uganda. And that's where the team of rivals come in. Rivals don't need to agree on everything, but they can agree on a few things and move the country forward. Finally, we have done a survey, and so far we are standing on average at about 71% in terms of support. And there are areas where our support is at about 50%, and then there are areas where we are scoring very highly. This survey was done professionally, and many people thought I would just make big rallies and stop there. They did not believe that I would go down to the grassroots. The other thing I found is also the abuse of money in politics. There are, of course, bags of money that have come into the constituency. I've only had rumors about the sources, but either way, I think people should elect a leader who goes with their debt so that he continues owing them. If a leader buys you off, then that leader will never be accountable to you. Overall, we are confident of a comfortable win on election day. I've also, in my capacity as minister, been assuring the voters that the machines will work effectively, and there is no polling station where there will be any excuse not to use the machines, because 2 machines are being deployed in every polling station. Secondly, the machines are analog. There are those who talk about hackers inserting names of voters. That will not happen, because these machines are not linked to internet in any way. They are just storage. The regulation that I signed just before Christmas states clearly that the record in the machine should match the number of ballot papers in the ballot box. If the 2 do not match, then the presiding officer will go to jail. That's what the law says. So I want to assure everybody that we will only receive the results based on votes that have been cast. If there are people thinking of rigging, I do not know how they are going to rig. I hear rumors that some people are claiming that they are already taking ballot papers. That is total rubbish. It's a bit, where will you count the ballots from? Because you must count them from the polling station, and the polling stations are gazetted. So it's a bit like stealing the king's drum. If you steal the king's drum, where will you beat it from? Where it will not be heard. So if you steal it, It will be useless. You just have to keep it. We wish Ugandans would realize that this is an opportunity for them to change their destiny, and everybody should feel free. We are in a multi-party dispensation. People should vote political parties of their choice without any intimidation. I'm ready for any questions that you may have.